Jill Biden is set to arrive here in the Alamo City. We're going to take a look at the stop she's going to be making while she's here, coming up.
And this noon, new details in a shooting investigation that started with two men getting into a fight on the east side. We have the latest next.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
New this noon, a fire on the west side. It may have been set on purpose.
That's what investigators are trying to determine right now. Firefighters say they were called to the 100 block of Alta Zeta, not far from South General McMullen Drive and Our Lady of the Lake University. They say a building was on fire. No one was inside, though.
However, they did find several mattresses inside the building, so fire crews think squatters might have been staying there. At the scene, police officers took in a person of interest for questioning. And arson investigators are also heading to the scene. No one has been charged so far. Yeah, no doubt. Felt it this morning. A cold front hitting our area, and it's not going to get too much warmer over the next couple of days. Not only that, some folks might even see some sprinkles or some drizzle, maybe even a little frozen stuff out in the hill country. Justin?
Yeah, you're not wrong. In fact, we're already starting to see some of that. This cold air poured in quickly. Temperatures are going to be about 50 degrees colder than they were yesterday. Take a look at this picture. This sort of says it all here. We're starting to see some of that light ice developing. Now, this is up in Spring Branch, but this is a good example of what may happen here over the next several hours. A very, very light coating of ice on things like, well, in this case, a golf cart, but metal signs, maybe some decks, things like that, things that are elevated. Roads, we think, are going to be okay. It was so warm yesterday that a lot of this is going to melt, and everything's pretty light. We'll certainly keep an eye on it, but starting to see those temperatures really, really get cold. And as we look at live radar, we still got some of this light drizzle coming through San Antonio, all in the form of liquid here. But where you see some of that pink color, that's where there could be some very, very light freezing drizzle this afternoon. Temperatures cold enough to support that. 30 Boerne Estates, 30 in Comfort. It's 30 right now in Bulverde. Across the city, temperatures generally in the mid to low 30s. And as we zoom out some, you'll find warmer stuff to the south, but that cold air is pushing to places like Cotulla, and then it is awful chilly in the hill country. 25 right now in Junction, 25 in Rock Springs, and wind chills makes it feel like it's 24 degrees outside here in town. Wind chills are now in the teens across parts of the hill country. Here's our forecast today. And temperatures basically stay where they are now, maybe dropping off a little bit tonight. We continue to see some of that drizzle and light shower activity. Of course, we'll keep an eye on some of that light freezing drizzle as well. We're going to have an update on that, plus how long this cold air is going to stick around. That's coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
We'll hear from you in a bit. New details this noon in an east side shooting investigation. Police say that the man hit by the bullet is now dead. Officers tell us 29-year-old Robert Jimmy Flores and another man got into a fight yesterday near I-10 in South New Braunfels Avenue. At some point, police say the man fighting with Flores pulled out a gun and shot him in the chest. He later died at a local hospital. Police took one person into custody so they could ask him some questions. So far, though, SAPD has not charged him in this case.
It seems that what happened inside an East Side bar definitely didn't stay there. San Antonio police say an argument between two customers spilled outside, resulting in one of them being shot. This happened overnight near Loop 410 and Rigsby Avenue. And as Katrina Weber tells us, those two men are in very different places now.
At a place where you'd expect shots of alcohol to flow, San Antonio police were investigating shots of a different kind. They say someone fired them in the parking lot of JD Sports Bar, wounding a 34-year-old man several times. According to witnesses, that shooting before 12:30 this morning was the end result of an argument that started inside the bar near Loop 410 and Rigsby Avenue. Police say the two began fighting outside. Then one man pulled out a gun and shot the other, leaving him critically wounded. As he was rushed off to a hospital, officers began looking for the person who shot him, and they say they didn't have to look far. Witnesses told police that suspect ran off in that direction toward Walmart. They say they quickly found him there and then found the gun on the ground next to the victim. They took the 33-year-old suspected shooter into custody, expecting he'd provide some information and face criminal charges. Officers at the scene of the shooting did not know why the two men were arguing or how their raised voices escalated to violence. Whatever happened in and around this bar, though, has them on two different paths now, one trying to heal from his wounds and the other answering for a crime. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
And also new at noon, firefighters had to free a woman from her vehicle after a rollover crash on the north side this morning. Police said the 22-year-old was driving on Loop 1604 near Bitters when she veered off the road. And that's just before 2 this morning. That's when she hit some debris, and that was on the grassy median, and that caused her car to roll over. She was taken to the hospital with a leg injury. It's not clear what caused the woman to veer off the road, though.
Here's some sad statistics. 1 in 3 Latinos will face cancer in their lifetime. It's the reason for a 3-day conference that's happening in downtown San Antonio right now to focus on limiting those cancer disparities among Latinos. Sarah Acosta spoke with organizers about the importance of the issue here in San Antonio.
64% of San Antonio is Hispanic, according to the latest U.S. Census. It's why medical professionals are taking the issue of disparities in cancer in Latinos so seriously.
Latinos are the fastest growing minority group in the country, and they are slated to have an increase of around 140% in cancer cases in the upcoming years.
It's the reason behind a 3-day conference happening in downtown San Antonio that kicked off today. Its focus is to have open dialogue about new ideas for research, practice, and communication to address Latino cancer health disparities. Research shows Latinos suffer disparities in liver, stomach, and cervical cancers. Dr. Jones says this is most likely because of the lack of awareness of the importance of those health screenings.
Lack of access to primary care, lack of insurance, poverty rates are a little bit higher amongst our Latino population, and also lower education. So combined, that kind of sets this environment for having individuals, especially our Latino population, not getting their screenings or coming in for late-stage diagnosis just because they didn't have access to care.
Jones says figuring out the most effective ways to get Hispanics to those life-saving screenings and close that disparity gap is their main goal over the next 3 days.
During the conference, we will be talking about how do we get our Latino population back to their doctors? How do we get them to actually go get their cancer screenings?
Sarah Acosta, KSAT 12 News.
Any minute now, First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is going to be visiting our community. And part of her trip is going to focus on what Sarah was just talking about, how cancer health disparities are impacting the Latino community. It's going to happen during a visit to UT Health's Cancer Center. It's a 5.5-hour visit to the Alamo City. It's also going to take her to Joint Base San Antonio Lackland. More details about the trip coming up, perhaps later in the newscast, and certainly tonight on the news at 5 and 6.
And also coming up tonight, Steve Spriester and Stefania Jimenez will be sitting down with the experts from around San Antonio. They're going to be talking about 3 important topics: what's on the ballot for the primary election, the importance of the Latino vote, and the youth vote. Be sure to tune in to Breakdown tonight at 7, and you can watch it anywhere you stream.
Now to the latest on the growing tension between the Ukraine and Russia. Ukrainians are preparing for a potential Russian invasion, declaring a state of emergency, and they are calling up reserves now.
This in response to Vladimir Putin sending in so-called peacekeeping troops into 2 Russian-backed separatist regions in eastern Ukraine. He declared independent. President Biden and several other countries putting sanctions on Russia.
ABC's Zareen Shah is in Washington, D.C. with the latest.
Ukraine and Russia moving ever closer to a potential conflict. Ukraine now declaring a state of emergency, which will be confirmed by parliament. It places heightened security measures and curfews in parts of the country currently under government control. Reservists with fighting experience are also mobilizing. Ukraine's President Zelensky meeting with Polish and Lithuanian leaders to discuss next steps. This as new satellite images from Mazar show additional Russian troop movement and supplies in Belarus, close to the Ukrainian border. Putin's move to recognize 2 separatist-controlled regions of eastern Ukraine as independent and sending in so-called peacekeeping troops, drawing swift and strong reaction from the U.S. and allies. President Biden flatly calling it the beginning of an invasion.
Who in the Lord's name does Putin think gives him the right to declare new so-called countries on territory that belonged to his neighbors.
The U.S. imposing major sanctions on the country's financial institutions and business elites, with threats of deeper sanctions if Russia continues. The United Nations meeting this morning to discuss the situation.
We need to use this last chance for action.
Now many Ukrainian citizens are ready to face a potential war. Our Martha Raditz is in the region.
This is one of the main border crossings in and out of Poland. Right now, they serve about 3,000 vehicles every day. If there is a refugee crisis, there could be millions.
All of this despite President Biden saying diplomacy was still an option.
And Russia has made clear its wholesale rejection of diplomacy. It does not make sense to go forward with that meeting at this time.
Right now, 800 troops from Germany are being rerouted to the area to support NATO allies. Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Washington.
Still coming up at this half hour, the Clark Cougars women's basketball team has a nice roll going through the playoffs. Larry Ramirez with highlights coming up in sports.
Some folks spent this morning remembering the Alamo. We're going to take a look at the recreation that took place and the significance after the break.
You're looking live at San Antonio base Kelly. That's where the First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, is about to land. We understand that she is not that far away from putting wheels down here in San Antonio.
She was due to arrive right up at noontime, but as often happens in presidential travels, she is running a little bit late, but we are on standby. She's going to be going to the UT Health Cancer Center, and she'll be landing at Joint Base Lackland, is my understanding, and she's going to be doing some visiting there as well, looking at medical issues in particular.
She's going to be here for about 5.5 hours. She'll also be visiting Joint Base Lackland over there, so we'll have more details about her trip tonight on the news at 5 and 6, and of course on our website, KSAT.com. But once again, she's just moments away from wheels touching down here in San Antonio.
Might want to pay attention to traffic, because no doubt they're going to be blocking off some roads as she travels from UT Health over to Lackland and back. All right. You might have noticed there was a crowd dressed in colorful outfits near the Alamo this morning. If you were driving by in the cold, they're part of the recreation of the arrival of the Mexican Army during the Battle of the Alamo. This event marking the start of the annual Battle of the Alamo commemoration. Today's program featuring dozens of living historians marching through Alamo Plaza, recreating how the Mexican Army arrived back on February 23rd, 1836. Back then, it took the Mexican Army several days to arrive. However, today marks the day that the Alamo defenders realized they were outnumbered and ill-prepared. Organizers of today's event say it's important to show this part of the battle because it doesn't always get a lot of attention. And it's not the only event that is taking place.
There's 12 days of siege from February 23rd to March 5th, and we're going to have several events that talk about key portions of those 12 days. There's going to be several letters written by William Barrett Travis. We're going to have some really neat events, so Texas history lovers can come down and see those and get a better understanding of the story. And then, of course, everything kind of culminates with March 6th, the day of the battle. And that's one of the bigger events called the Dawn Ceremony, which is held right before the sun comes up on March 6th. Really moving event.
You can see a full list of all of the Alamo events on KSAT.com.
Often wonder what the weather was like during the Battle of the Alamo, and if that had any effect on how things went.
It did, actually. If my memory serves, there was a cold front that came through right before the siege, and then the weather did play somewhat of a role in the battle. So there you go. It is that time of year where we do get cold fronts coming through here. Obviously, today we're feeling it. And by the way, a new winter weather advisory has been posted that includes Bexar County. I'm going to explain all of that coming up after the break. In the meantime, the aquifer is down 0.6 of a foot to 663.7. In your pollen count, mountain cedar just won't go away. In fact, it jumped up today. It's at 180 in moderate. Mold, elm, mulberry, ash also on the list. A look at that winter weather advisory coming up.
And there she is. Dr. Jill Biden has now landed. The plane sitting on the tarmac over there at Joint Base San Antonio Lackland.
Yeah, the plane just landed. We couldn't see it in the previous shot. Obviously, there's security they have to get in place. There's all kinds of protocol going on. This is over at Joint Base Lackland, which used to be Kelly Field. I don't think you call it Kelly Field anymore.
I don't
We're
believe
debating
so.
that right now.
Yeah, I used to live there, and before it was Joint Base Lackland, it was separated between Lackland Air Force Base and Kelly Air Force Base, and that's where all the C-5s and 141s, that's where a lot of the maintenance was done, and that's where that is the tarmac she's sitting on right now. And obviously you can see the stairs going to be pulling up to the door in just a few minutes, and that door will open, and she'll be here for about 5.5 hours visiting over UT Health, and then of course coming back to Lackland and visiting some folks over there as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is her first visit or not. We'll be getting deeper into the visit a little bit later on KSAT 12 News at 5 and 6.
The weather's not exactly.
Yeah, she might not have been expecting this.
Chamber of Commerce weather that would have been nice for her.
The D.C. weather with her.
Yeah, most people are thinking, oh, we'll go to San Antonio. It'll be nice and warm down there.
Yeah.
Not so much. Not so much. And in fact, we now have a new winter weather advisory in effect. I want to show you that. Let's look across the state of Texas first. Winter storm warnings as you get up to parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas. You get down into Texas. And by the way, winter storm warnings are in effect for the Dallas area. Roads starting to get a little icy there. Winter weather advisories, though, further south, and that does now include Bexar County in the Hill Country. We got to separate this out just a little bit. This is going to go through Thursday noontime. Ice accumulations maybe on the bridges and overpasses in the Hill Country. And yes, this does include Bexar County. But what typically happens with these situations is it's northern Bexar County that we're kind of worried about here. And those flyovers, the 1604, 281, I-10, 1604, those are kind of the ones that can get a little bit dicey. But I think in general, we're going to be looking at a glaze on some elevated surfaces. Most of this is going to be light. We don't expect a lot of issues on the roadways, but as a precaution, we do have winter weather advisories now in effect for the Hill Country and northern parts of Bexar County, and that does include Seguin and New Braunfels as well. We'll be keeping a close eye on all of this, and we've been watching the radar pretty closely here. And most of what we're seeing right now is very, very light, and it's actually trying to let up just a little bit. But seeing some of that pink color there, which represents the light freezing drizzle as well. Everything's moving south to north, and we'll continue to see this kind of pattern as we go later into the afternoon and into tonight. The temperatures really are the big story. 34 degrees here in San Antonio, below freezing in places like Bernie Stage. Comfort is 27 right now in Kerrville, 28 Bandera, 32 right at freezing in Canyon Lake. Further south you go, the warmer those numbers are. Further north you go, bone chilling cold. 26 right now in Junction. Look at the 24-hour temperature change. This is nothing short of incredible. It is 51 degrees colder in Fredericksburg than it was 24 hours ago. 52 degrees colder in Rock Springs. Here in San Antonio, a 44-degree temperature drop from yesterday's number. And we may see that number go up even a little bit more. Keep in mind, we got up to 85 yesterday, and our temperatures are now dropping. Wind chill values, 24. That's what it feels like here in town. Wind chill values are in the teens in the Hill Country today with those gusty winds. Here's the big picture. See sort of the light rain developing here along the Texas coast, and then a big batch of snow and ice moving through Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Missouri. Dallas is still dealing with some light freezing precip, and I've kind of outlined here where TxDOT is saying there are some icy roads. DriveTexas.org, a great resource, but it's in this area where they are having slick spots now and some issues on some of the roadways. So just a heads up, if you have family or friends up there, that's where it gets a little dicey. Temperatures 24 in Dallas, it's 17 in Amarillo. The warm spot in the state, still 80 in Brownsville. The Valley, yet to see that cold air, but they will. It'll take a couple more hours, but quite a temperature difference between the Panhandle and down in Brownsville. Wind chill values, feels like 5 in Amarillo right now. Feels like -6 in Oklahoma City. Feels like 10 right now in Dallas. And our wind chills will stay in the 20s through tonight into tomorrow. Temperatures fall to about 32 degrees before warming up some tomorrow. Here's our forecast, and it still shows some of the slight precipitation through the afternoon into tomorrow morning. This is around 7 o'clock. Still could see some of that light freezing drizzle, and that's why there are some concerns here in the Hill Country on the elevated surfaces and some of the untreated bridges and overpasses. And then by tomorrow, I think the precipitation shuts off a little bit. We still get clouds though, and it will still be plenty cold. Here's the forecast going forward. 41 tomorrow, 41 Friday, 43 on Saturday. All the while, we'll still have clouds and some chances for rain. Actually picks up a little bit more as we get into Saturday before things clear on Sunday and we finally get some warmer temperatures as we get into March, guys.
Finally, springtime.
Cold outside, but it was hot in the gym last night for a couple of basketball teams, huh?
Yeah, I mean, basketball playoffs for boys and girls in full swing right now, so we got some of that coming up for you. Plus, in the NBA, Spurs' DeJounte Murray says it's time to get back to work for the final push of the regular season. And speaking of boys high school basketball, Clark had to come back to win last night. This was a good one coming up. Spurs point guard DeJounte Murray had a blast Sunday playing in his first NBA All-Star game. His first field goal attempt was a three, and he knocked it down. Playing for Team Durant, Murray logged 27 minutes, and he scored 17 points to go with 5 rebounds, 5 assists, and 1 blocked shot. He said he would play defense, and that he did. He was also on the receiving end of a between-the-legs pass from LaMelo Ball to Murray for an alley-oop slam dunk. Ball scored 18 off the bench, and he handed out 3 assists. Murray was thrilled to play with dudes like Ball, and he feels the NBA has a bright future thanks to all of the young talent.
For sure, the future of the league, the league's in good hands, great hands. You got a bunch of guys who wasn't even here who, could be here. So, you got to go out and have fun, especially in these weekends. And, it was good just to build bonds with these guys. And that's what it's all about because, the NBA is a brotherhood and, we're all trying to represent and push the NBA in the right way.
Spurs will resume the rodeo road trip Friday night at Washington, another team fighting for the postseason. San Antonio is 11th in the West, 2 games behind Portland for 10th, which is the final spot to qualify for the play-in tournament. Spurs have 23 games left in the regular season, so beating the Wizards Friday night is key.
It's important, right now I'm ready to lock in. Obviously I'm going to get some good rest, and get ready for our next game, which is DC. But like I said, I'm going to get my rest and I'm going to be ready to go and make sure my team's ready to go. Hopefully they're getting rest and ready to go and make this push.
Here's that matchup. Spurs at the Wizards Friday night at 6. San Antonio is 3-2 on the rodeo road trip. Last night, the Clark boys basketball team defeated Clemens in the Class 6A by district round. The Cougars trailed by 6 points at halftime, but outscored the Buffaloes 33-14 in the second half. Senior Jordan Mason led the way with the game-high 25 points, while Jacoby White, Edgar Sosa, and Ethan Crowley all finished with 8 points each. Clark knew it was going to be a tough battle, and they're thrilled to be moving on.
Man, it boosts our confidence. Clemens is a real tough team. We knew that coming in. And we had struggled at halftime. We came in and we just all had each other's backs. I think we just built even more trust in each other, and it's going to be big for us in the playoffs.
This matchup in the first round was an incredible matchup. It'd be like a 7-8 matchup in the NCAA or something like that. I mean, we're both really good teams, so we just feel fortunate that we were able to win.
Cougars will next take on Stony Point in the area round later this week. We'll have more highlights from this game available on the BGC page at KSAT.com. Third round of the girls' high school basketball playoffs, Class 6A. Clark facing Johnson last night. Jaguars trying to rally in the second quarter off the miss. Sierra McDermott is there for the rebound and putback to make it an 8-point game, but the Cougars respond. Alea Robertson for the triple, nothing but net. Clark led by 10 at halftime, and they advanced to the regional semis with a 62-52 victory. Alea had 14 points. Her sister, Ariana, scored 13.
So all the kids over there at Clark are all giddy today because both their
won.
basketball teams
Yeah,
won.
a little sweep last night.
Yeah. How do you study in class with that going on?
New today at 5, how are you sleeping? More than half of Americans say they aren't getting enough uninterrupted sleep. Aside from getting to bed early and putting down those handheld devices, what else can you do? A supplement might be the answer, but which one should you take and what do you look for? Coming up today at 5, 12 News Side's Marilyn Moritz with some tips. Looking outside with live cam.
Did you turn your air conditioner on yesterday?
I did. And this morning I turned on my heater. Didn't everybody else?
Well, I didn't turn on the air conditioner, but I might have to turn up the heat.
I had to make the switch last night. I had the AC on right before I went to bed. I switched it over to heat because I knew by this morning.
Well, see, you got the advantage.
We got the flip-flop effect going on.
That's right. A little bit of everything. And, the temperatures are really falling off today. We're now in the low 30s in a lot of spots, 34 here in San Antonio. We mentioned earlier there is a new winter weather advisory that does include the Hill Country and technically Bexar County, but let me explain that a little bit better here. As we look at the big picture, by the way, you're going to find a lot more winter weather issues as you get up towards Dallas and Oklahoma City. But let's zoom in on our area. And this winter weather advisory goes until Thursday, 12 p.m. Ice accumulations in the hill country will be very light. So basically we're talking on elevated surfaces, and it's going to be a light glaze. Nothing that's too big of an issue. And then here in Bexar County, I would say basically it's the kind of the northern half of the county where we could see also a light glaze. Now, as we get into tonight, we may need to watch some of the bridges and overpasses in the hill country. Good news is TxDOT is treating some of those. Chances are roads are going to be just fine, but we do need to watch some of those bridges and overpasses, especially the untreated ones, as we get into tonight in the hill country. The radar shows that we've got some showers coming through, very light showers. This has mostly been kind of just a drizzly, sprinkly type situation. And then as it works into some of the sub-freezing air here around, say, Bernie up to the north and Kendall County, we have seen a little bit of light freezing drizzle, light freezing rain. We've seen a few pictures showing some of that light glaze that has developed on some elevated signs and things like that. 32 Canyon Lake, 30 Boulevardy, 29 Comfort. We're at 34 at the airport, 39 right now down there at Stinson, and you're at 35 Uvalde, 41 right now in Del Rio. And the wind chill, boy, it's brutal. Feels like 24 here in San Antonio. Feels like it's in the teens in places like Kerrville and Fredericksburg. In the forecast, where we're just going to basically stay steady here. 34 degrees through the afternoon. Then we may drop off a couple of degrees tonight with some drizzle and light shower activity staying in the forecast along with those gusty winds. We're going to talk more about how long this is going to stick around, and if we have more rain chances coming our way. That's coming up here in just a few minutes, guys.
We're taking bribes for springtime to start early. All right, convoys of truckers, they may be looking to cause a disruption in several communities this week. The White House says the administration is aware.
We've actually been monitoring this closely. The Department of Homeland Security and the administration are tracking reports of a potential convoy that may be planning to travel to several U.S. cities, including Washington, D.C.
In response, the Department of Defense approved moving 700 National Guardsmen into D.C. ahead of the possible protest. It is still unclear if the convoys will happen. One group says it's planning to head from Pennsylvania to D.C. today. Another started California, then to the Capitol. Truckers are looking to repeat standoffs that shut down cities across Canada for weeks over COVID vaccine mandates. A new study says people who tested positive for COVID-19 face a higher risk of heart problems months after recovering. That study was published in the February edition of the Nature Medicine Journal. The findings were based on more than 153,000 veterans who had the coronavirus. They were compared to others who were never infected. Researchers say those who had COVID reported more maladies, including strokes, clotting, and heart attacks. Some of the conditions, like pulmonary embolisms, are potentially fatal. Experts say people who had COVID-19 and experienced heart concerns should immediately seek medical attention. And the Food and Drug Administration is trying to clear up some confusion when it comes to those at-home COVID tests. It released a list of all authorized at-home over-the-counter COVID tests. The agency posted that list on its website, and it includes helpful information like the type of test, how quickly it works, and who should use it in terms of symptoms and ages. Still coming up, the Texas Tech Red Raiders dominating the Sooners last night. Larry Mears with highlights in sports.
Time to get your kids in training for that, Justin.
I should. They would love that, actually. Hey, quick quiz. When do you guys think we reached our high temperature today?
When did we?
I'm going to say 6 a.m.
Midnight.
I was going to go 3 a.m., but
yeah, midnight.
Midnight, wow.
57, and then now we've just seen temperatures tumble since then. 34, our current temperature is now our low temperature. Averages are 69 and 47. Records are 97 and 27. We're going to fall on the cold end of things today. Another look at that cold forecast coming up.
This Rodeo Remembers, brought to you by the new 2022 Chevy Silverado, the strongest, most advanced Silverado ever.
Without ranching, there might not be a stock show and rodeo, and the birthplace of America's ranching industry can be traced back to one Texan, Captain King.
After purchasing large areas of land in South Texas with his partner, King had a problem. To run a huge cattle ranch, he needed skilled horsemen.
After a cattle buying trip to Corrales, Mexico, King invited the town back to Texas. The 100 or so that followed became Los Caneños, or King's Men. And with their hard work and King's ambition, the ranch grew. When the Civil War ended, the northern demand for beef was high, and so were the prices. So King seized opportunity once again in 1869 with one of the first big cattle drives. In time, King Ranch became one of the world's largest, and as many copied its success, it became known as the birthplace of the American ranching industry. In 1885, Captain King traveled to San Antonio to see a doctor. He passed away at the Menger Hotel in a suite that's now named in his honor. Today, King Ranch is a major agribusiness with interests in ranching, luxury retail goods, hunting, and farming. And it's still family owned, making it one of the country's oldest and largest family-run companies. Captain King left behind a legacy that's truly as big as Texas. And with the 7th generation of his family being born, the future still looks bright.
I wonder if it's warm on the ranch because it's cold up here.
Is it cold on the coast too?
It's cold everywhere except for the valley. Brownsville's still recording a temperature of 80 degrees.
Oh,
lucky.
But they'll cool down too. Here's some pretty interesting stuff, guys. Let's look at the extremes across the country. Yesterday in Falcon Lake, which is just south of here, got up to 101. To the north this morning in Montana, got down to negative 36. So those are your two extremes. There was a 137-degree temperature difference from the high to the low. That's pretty huge, and it has to do with this big mass of cold air that's shifting south. And now we're feeling it here in South Texas. 24-hour temperature change, down 44 degrees. Some places down over 50 degrees from where they were 24 hours ago. We were in shorts and T-shirts yesterday. Now we're bundled up near the heater. There's the look outside, and right now it's dry at the moment. 34 degrees, 39 Stinson, 35 Kelly, 34 Randolph, and a good northerly wind, which makes it feel all that much colder. The radar still showing some light precipitation trying to move through. This has been in the form of some sprinkles and some light drizzle, and it will continue to move south to north across the area. Few areas where we've seen a little bit of light freezing drizzle as well. We've had some pictures coming in across the hill country where there is some light ice, a light glaze of ice accumulating on things like a grill or a metal surface, anything that's kind of elevated, metal signs. And we'll see a little bit more of that, I think, as we go into the afternoon. Thankfully, the roads are just fine, at least for now, and we think we're not going to see a lot of issues there. 32 Canyon Lake, 30 Bulverde, 30 Bernie Stage, 29 right now in Comfort. Across Bear County, looking at mid-30s to some upper 30s down there around Stinson. 46 Carrizo Springs, 41 right now in Del Rio. And the wind chill values, well, it feels like 24 here in town. It feels like 15 in Kerrville. And the wind chill right now in Rock Springs is 10. 10. Pretty impressive. Here's the bigger picture across the state. A lot of cloud cover. We've got the classic overrunning situation here with warm air overrunning that very shallow cold air mass that is pushed south into South Texas now. A nice area of snow and ice across parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas. And I showed you a little bit earlier, that's where some of the icy roads are right now. If you look at the TxDOT map, showing some of the roads starting to collect some ice up there around Dallas, Fort Worth, Wichita Falls, and over towards the state of Oklahoma. Now, we do have that winter weather advisory that extends all the way down into the hill country and does include Bear County. Here's some details. This is going to go through midday tomorrow, where we could see some very light ice accumulations in the hill country. We'll watch the bridges and overpasses, those ones that aren't treated. By tomorrow morning, we do need to keep an eye on that in the hill country. As far as Bear County goes, we're talking the northern half of Bear County, and there could be a light glaze on some elevated surfaces, just like what we're seeing today. Street signs, grills, maybe your deck. That's a possibility of a little bit of ice accumulator. You'll see a little glaze of ice there. Temperatures, awful cold as we get into tonight, close to freezing here in town, but wind chills will be in the 20s. And tomorrow, not much of a warm up. We climb into the low 40s potentially tomorrow afternoon, but that wind chill is still going to be in the 20s and 30s. And we really don't come out of this cold weather until we get into late in the weekend. Here's a quick look at the forecast. Still shows some of that light precipitation moving around the area, even going into tonight. In fact, it shows it picking up just a little bit as we get into tomorrow morning with some of that light freezing drizzle in the hill country and maybe even northern Bexar County. And then by tomorrow, I think a lot of the precipitation starts to go away. We're still dealing with clouds, and that keeps things cool. Some places out west could see a little bit of clearing tomorrow, which would boost temperatures some, but not much. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. 41 tomorrow, 41 on Friday. Notice the morning lows are in the 30s. And Saturday, still looking at some chances for showers. Cloudy skies, 43. Finally some clearing on Sunday. And next week looks a lot nicer, guys.
Bring on next week. Thank you.
Yep.
You know, it's good to see these guys taking advantage of this long, extended time off, kind of relaxing, enjoying some other things. A couple of guys have been to the rodeo. Keldon Johnson was there the other night. A couple other guys seen on social media hanging out.
Yeah, Lonnie Walker IV went to Cleveland for NBA All-Star Weekend. Not exactly how long he was there, but he did go to the game to support his teammate, DeJounte Murray, which was pretty cool. And in girls high school basketball, Bernie is back in the regional semis coming up. NBA All-Star break ends today with normal team activities picking back up Thursday. That means for the Spurs getting ready to resume their rodeo road trip when they play at the Washington Wizards Friday night. Right now, the Spurs are 11th in the Western Conference, 2 games back of the Portland Trail Blazers, who have the 10th spot, the final one to qualify for the play-in tournament. And the Spurs have 23 games left in the regular season to make that push to get in. DeJounte Murray spent 3 days in Cleveland after being named to his first NBA All-Star game, but he wasn't the only member of the Silver and Black there. So was Lonnie Walker IV to show support for his teammate.
He's a real one. He's been real to me from day one since we drafted him. And, you know, a lot of guys will tell you they love you, they care for you, or they support you through, you know, words. But, you know, his is all through actions, whether it's coming to my house, you know, anything, calling me, asking if he can come over, or we're on the road, you know. He's asking, can he come to my room just to get advice and just talk about life. And this speaks for itself, man. That dude didn't have to come to, you know, the All-Star weekend, you know, even though that's my brother. But, you know, we need all the rest and family time we could get, you know, because when we get back, you know, we got a playoff push. And I love him to death, and, you know, I appreciate him.
It's back to work for the Spurs Friday night at 6 when they play at Washington. The defending Class 4A regional Bernie girls basketball team is once again heading to the regional semifinals. The Greyhounds took down Navarro Tuesday night 57-37. Sophomore center Avery Aaron led Bernie with 24 points in the victory. The Greyhounds have not lost since January 18th and have won all 3 of their playoff games by 19 or more points. Bernie's offense is clearly firing on all cylinders.
This year, we definitely have a lot more athleticism and speed, and we have a lot more tools off and on the bench. We're much deeper than we were last year, I would say, and we have a lot more shooters, and we can run faster and move the ball a lot faster than last year. I think it's a lot more organized, and it's a lot more set. Last year was like you never knew if you were going to play another game, and it was like this could be your last even if you win. So it was really just give your all, and it's still give your all, but now we have goals to look forward to.
Bernie will next face Devine in the regional semifinal this Friday night. Men's college basketball, Oklahoma at number 9, Texas Tech last night. First half action. Adonis Arms jukes a pair of defenders for a layup, and it's 18-12 Tech. Look at his patience one more time because it pays off. Later on, Terrence Shannon Jr. steps back to three-point range to find the bottom of the net to make it 23-14 Tech. Second half, Davion Warren makes a slick steal for an easy dunk. Tech goes up by 15. They go on to win it 66-42 for their 20th straight victory at home. David Sears.
That's a tough place to play for visitors. Yeah, those Tech fans get a little wild.
They do, don't they?
Some fun. Thanks, Larry.
SA Live is having some fun, too. Ooh.
Look what I've got. Girl Scout cookies.
Oh,
yes, indeed. And we're not talking about just opening up a box of these. It is Flavor Fest. Some restaurants are making some delicious dishes out of them. One of them is Rosario's. Michelle Gonzalez is here. And what are we making with these cookies?
So we're making a Samoa's Martini. It's got a little bit of rum, vodka, amaretto, Bailey's,
So you're gonna dip it right in there. We got some toasted coconut that we make fresh in our kitchen.
Okay, why did you decide to make a martini out of Girl Scout cookies? I like the idea, though.
This is the third year that we partner with the Girl Scouts. Last year we did a variation of a pina colada. So just wanted to switch it up a little bit. Do a nice martini.
How long can folks get one of these delicious martinis at Rosario's?
We will be having these through Sunday. Through the weekend.
Well, cheers. And we're going to be telling you about some other restaurants that have participating in Flavor Fest and have some great things. Peregrine Falcon over there is liking the sound of this. And I've got a martini. Jen has got some very interesting margaritas to talk about. Hey, Jen.
That's right, we're here at Costa Pacifica. It's Mexican seafood with even a little Japanese influence, but they're all about the margaritas all week long. And you can see this one here and this guy, you can get a really good deal all week long. Like I said, they're celebrating all week. And Victor's gonna make the SA Live margaritas when we come back, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back. More to come on SA Live.